Sige, we'll start after 5 minutes. I'll let others ko anong join.
Okay, Miss.
Asin mo?
Good afternoon, Miss.
Ano? Sige. Okay na ba? Can we start? Medyo basin taas. This is about 42 slides. Medyo Dawag ako nila. Sige. Anyways, I'm just gonna send the recorded file after. I tried to pre-record, but I'm having a hard time and good to edit. So I think this will be better, or at least what you can ask questions on a specific slide. Okay, I will be discussing your plate after man. So okay. So can we start? Can we start na? Let's start.
Yes, Miss.
Okay. Sige. Ooh.
Amigo.
Okay.
Ikaw, class.
Mas mom do.
Watch mom lagi.
Kaya mungkin. Ito man.
Stable ako internet. Madungog na ko ninyo.
Adungog ra kami.
Sige, kanina marag nawala ang internet.
Adong, Miss, pero potol.
Sige. Anyways, okay. I think okay na naman ang internet. Sige. So, I think we can start na, no? Can we start na?
Yep. Miss.
Sige. So, na-download na ninyo nga file. This is the 4th file that I sent already, no? Do not confuse yourself of the file name, ha? Ang number 4 na siya is ang ikapila siya na nga file. So dali na siya 4 elements of planning. So that is actually the 4th file in the elements of planning. Okay. So let's start. Okay. Can we start? Can you confirm if you can hear me? Madiwag ninyo, guys.
Okay, miss. Pwede na, miss.
Sige. So, this is commonly the question, no? If ever you're gonna start designing and planning na your project. So, basically mo na siya pangutana what to consider in planning. So, unsa inyong kinahanglanon i-take into consideration or unsa inyong kinahanglanon
Basta inay kasawan.
magplan. Can you hear me? Putol-putol ba ko? Anyways, I'm gonna send lang no the recording.
Yes, miss. Pero putol-putol ga, miss.
Sige. Sige lang. I think
Miss.
mas stable na siya ang internet later on. So I'm just gonna send the recording file. Oh, I'm just gonna send the recording after ha. So, kuan lang mo diha kanang stay put lang.
Miss.
Okay. So actually there are 10
Miss.
there are 10 considerations. These are the basic considerations lang ha in planning. So wait lang, ako lang ipang-admit ang uban. Okay. Sige. So, basically, naa siya 10 kabo considerations. These are the distribution, the circulation, the light and ventilation, the sizes and areas, orientation, the laws and restrictions, the height, facility, location of doors, and superstition. So, I think you already saw this one. Ato ang previous discussion. And I think I already discussed the basic ani. But we're gonna discuss this one by one today. So first off, the first consideration in planning is the distribution. So wait lang. Saan yung work ko? Hinay. Anyways, you can also if you want to have a copy of this pointers in planning, you can borrow my book, Planning and Designer's Handbook. I got this slide here, so this will be your reference book on this one. So, first no will be actually I'm still waiting for the PowerPoint presentation kay meron kuan siya hinay yung response. Anyways, madungog ako ninyo. Kaning uban kadungog rin ako. Sige. So, madungog rin no? Sige. Naka-follow ra mo?
Dungog ra man, miss. Dungog ra.
Okay. Sige. Anyways.
Don't miss.
Asa na tada bito?
Hinay kaayo ako ang ano na siya ni pag-game niya siya. Okay, so first one is the distribution. So it refers to the placement, location, and arrangement of each room unit in relation with each other as to functions and coordination. So one particular example is the interrelation between the dining and the kitchen, which primarily requires accessibility on food servicing. These units are interrelated and should not be far from each other. So basically, ang dining o kitchen is kung ano siya, what do you call this? Close to each other. Kay, di ba, I already discussed to you before na it is important to know the activities of the specific area and um, know their what do you call this one? Anong in ang you need to identify kung asa siya dapat itapad. So for the dining and kitchen is mainly on, diba, cooking, preparation of food, and dining is dito mo mukaon. So basically, after mo cook, it is important na accessible siya sa dining kay diha man ninyo siya i-serve, diba? So, and if you have um if you're gonna get with the utensils while you're gonna eat, so it is equally important po na duol siya so as to give ease if ever na may mga kinahanglan during um, dinner or breakfast or your meal, di ba? So that is mainly one of the considerations, the distribution. Kung asa ninyo siya i-pattern out or asa ninyo siya i-butang in relevance or adjacent to the certain area. So second will be the circulation. So if like roads and highways, no, we have traffic problems put inside the building. So if ato po na siya i-consider. So circulation and movement of the occupants inside the building should not be hampered by any obstacles nor be detoured as a result of poor planning. In short, the design of the floor plan, be it residential, commercial, or industrial type, must address the traffic condition inside the building without the necessity of using the red and green lights as signal. So, what meant by this is ang circulation ninyo or if you have the hallway or the passageway, no, it is important na wala siya obstruction. I mean, wala siya protrusions, wala siya yung mga certain projections nga maka-affect or maka-affect sa inyong circulation. For example, if you have a hallway, it's important nga wala siya table in between wala siya table nga magbabag, wala pud siya wall nga ni protrude kay para dili kay per ease ang access, wala siya dili o malasan pod ang mga accidents. And also we can get away of the unnecessary complications in the future. So example of this is nga so example of this is kung naamo sa entrance and dapat ang kanang access ninyo sa living kanang agianan ninyo padung sa dining, kitchen, sa stairs, sa living, should be unhampered or wala siya magbabag. So, basically, you'll give enough clearance if ever sa mga mga hallways and sa mga agianan. So, another consideration will be light and ventilation. So this will be the third na, no? So there is no substitute for good daylight and fresh natural air entering and circulating inside the building. Artificial lighting and ventilation is very costly to those who cannot afford, but others prefer it for maximum comfort regardless of costs. So the design therefore depends upon the likes and the preferences of the owner. So for the light and ventilation, we have natural light and ventilation and the artificial light and ventilation. So the natural light and ventilation, that includes the daylighting. Daylighting, that means um, proper use and proper location of windows para maka get in mo og enough sunlight for the project. Artificial light in artificial light is the use of the lighting fixtures, like for the um, pin lights, chandeliers, wala siyang artificial light. And for the natural ventilation, also, that is um, proper use of windows as well, so as to attract or so as to have proper airflow sa inyong building. Artificial ventilation, that is the use of the air conditioning units. So, actually, depende rin naman sa preferences of the owner. But since we are in support for the sustainable architecture, we would recommend having the natural light and ventilation. So as much as possible, it will we will design or we will plan our project to be sustainable. So we practice the proper use of windows and proper use of um, other fixtures or other um, features para lang maka maka-attract sa natural daylight and ventilation. So we can always use man artificial light and ventilation for the maximum comfort naman. But mostly of those designs man good are costly, and it will entail much energy. So as much as possible, we will learn to be eco-friendly if we'll have the natural light and ventilation. So one example will be for this building. So the summer sun, we have the sun here, and as much as possible, we maximize, no, the light during the day. So in relevance to design, we can put skylights and other features. You can also use the louvers on a certain spot. Then for the air passage also, we we design or install windows opposite to each other. So magkaatbang na siya ang windows. One idea of the window is to, if mag-design of room, it is effective to put windows nga duha ka buok. If you're gonna have a room nga isa ra ka buok window, most likely di mo diri hangin mo sugod ana, kay as part of the principles of air movement, no, air flows from one place to another and with the area of least resistance. So if ever ang room is having only one window, so wala na siya ikalutsan. So di na siya musudya. If you can observe, if you'll be in a room, then isa ra ka buok. Or if you have your window, no, duha ka buok. If you're gonna close your window, yung isa ra mo open, wala mo sud. But if you're gonna open your window or your two windows, na ay hangin mo sud, diba? Okay, musud naman ang hangin if na siya kagawsan. So for example, you only have one window in your room and wala na may lain nga ventilation. What you're gonna do is you're gonna open the door, di ba? Para na yung hangin musud. So basically, if you're gonna close the door, i-open na nimo ang window nimo, what yung musud, anak, mo na mo o may kagawsan ang hangin. So basically, more po na siya ang thought, anak. It's better if you can design the room nga maka-cross siya. That's what they call cross ventilation. Okay? Any questions? Maduwa pa ba ko ninyo, guys? Are you still with me? Sige.
Yes.
Sige. So, based on the National Building Code on window openings, so based na niya siya sa National Building Code. Actually, daghan kaning pointers ng National Building Code. But the Section 808 of the National Building Code states that every room intended for any use not equipped with artificial ventilation shall be provided with a window or windows with a least free opening area equal to at least 10% of the room floor area, and such window shall open directly to a courtyard, public street or alley, or open water courses. So, in simple words, no, if naada kay room nga wala siya aircon, dili siya artificially ventilated, wala siya aircon, you need to provide an opening, a window, with an area equal to at least 10% of the room floor area. So, for example, 10% ang i-require sa National Building Code, if you have a room, ang total floor area niya, if you have a total floor area, and 10% ana should be allocated to the window opening. So, muna siya ang area sa imong window. So, for example, and after that, before the thought, before the example, ang kana siyang window should open to a courtyard, public street, alley, or open water courses. Meaning, if you have a window, dapat ang 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 iyang open niya is i-open niya sa window, dili unobstructed siya. Meaning, wala siyang firewall, dili siya mag-open of another wall pod. So, open siya. Open directly. Meaning, unobstructed. Okay? So, if you're gonna have a window, i-abli sa window, firewall din na, that's not acceptable. So, dapat, if magbutang mag-window, it is open directly to a courtyard, public street, alley, or open water courses. Basta open na siya, unobstructed. Kaya wala gamit ang window, no? If it's gonna open to a wall lang. So, stop na sa siya. So, for example of this will be, ang room area nimo is 2 meters by 3 meters. So, that is 6 square meters, right? So, ang required opening based on the National Building Code is 10%. Ang required sa National Building Code, that is the minimum. So, you can't go below. You can go beyond, but di ka pwede magamay. So, So if you have a 6 square meter room, 2 meters by 3 meters, ang required opening ano niya, area na siya, window is 10% of the 6 square meters. So that is 6 square meters times 0.10 or 10%. That is equal to 0.6 square meters. So what is 0.6? So ang minimum dimensions, sample lang niya siya, no? You can always play with the height man. So, ang 0.60 square meter, so sample dimensions ani niya no is 1.2 by 0.5. And that is 0.6 square meters. So, you can always go above. Pero muna siya ang minimum ha. This states man na minimum siya. So, you can always go above the minimum. But you cannot go below the minimum. Okay? So, 0.6 square meters, muna siya ay mohang i-allow nga opening sa imuhang room. So, you can have double hung windows, pwede inani. Double hung windows, I think, have you discussed na the windows or the designs sa windows? Na ba mo idea? The sliding windows, the hopper, the casement, are you familiar? Anyways, so basically, ang double hang is this one. So you can use this on pwede mo siya on bedrooms, living areas, and as well as with as well as the sliding windows, the hopper, the casement as well. Ang hopper is open above. So ang pivot ani niya, ang pivot sa hopper is on the lower area or the lower side. With the casement naman, ang pivot ani niya is on vertically but on one side lang siya. So basically mo siya ang common window. Double casement is duha siya ka open. Duha ka sleeves. So ang end vent slider is sliding niya siya. But nani siya fixed on each side and sliding towards the center. Kaya diha man na iyang lock usually. The awning is ang pivot niya na sa nasa babaw. So ang opening ano niya nasa ubos. And the bay windows is usually na fixed usually is fixed and usually naka-protrude na siya. Commonly nakabutang siya sa living areas, sa bedrooms, and other access areas. So if maputol niya siya, I'm gonna send another invites na. But you can also attend after. So maybe after 10 minutes ma-end din. But I'm gonna send another invites lang. Just to discuss. After this, I think few slides after is your plate na. So I'm gonna discuss the plate after. So, okay. So let's go to another consideration. I think this is the fourth. The sizes, areas, and shapes. And this is, I think this is, I already discussed this one, no? Sa itong first, this is, oh no, not the first day. Sa katong previous na itong meetings. So this is mainly the ergonomics and anthropometric. So all rooms are intended for human use and therefore should be planned according to human scale. So I think basing sa atuang previous na plate, no, I think nakakuha naman mo, di ba, nakasukod na mo sa inyong Okay, anthropometric data. So basically, you already have an idea kung how much or how wide or how 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 deep will you consider no sa inyong mga areas, like for example pila inyong i- i-design sa inyong bed in relevance sa anthropometric data ninyo. So basically, if you're gonna design the bed, um, ang inyong i-consider ato is your shoulder breadth, diba? And if you're gonna have the cabinets or design the cabinets, you're gonna consider also the standing and the reaching height, diba? So basically, this is also the consideration, one of the considerations in planning, which we already tackled before, diba? So, um, the shape as to plan and elevation should be strictly functional. Actually, the word strictly is not, it is not really recommended. No? It is, but we wanted also to be functional. Kaya naman giuban nga, they, um, ang ilang main goal is the form of the, the design. But actually for us, it should be, it is better if functional siya, not just fancy or not just aesthetically good, diba? So it is also important na nindot po siya uyan, nindot siya gamiton, dili lang siya kanindot tanaw. Okay? So, ah, okay. So, also an example sa katong anthropometrics and ergonomics. No? So in the kitchen, when good, we have three activities. So this is the triangle of activities sa kitchen. It is best if you can follow this one, since it is one mo daw ni siya ang one aspect no na makabalo ka if your kitchen is good, or if your kitchen has a good design, if ang activities nimo follows a triangular shape. So basically, you have the cooking area or the range, the washing area, which is the kitchen sink, and the preparation or the storage area, the ref or the pantry. So, mo daw na siya ang i-take into consideration nimo para your kitchen is um, having a good design. So, if you're gonna have it kuan man good in one line lang, lisod ang inyong navigation. So if you have this one in a triangular shape, it would be better if mag transfer mo from one area to another. So basically, this is a good design for the kitchen. Okay, for okay, I'm gonna cut this one first, then I'm just gonna send you invites after. Kaya mo-end na ni siya ang minutes, and will resume siguro, and you can also take a break in, I don't know, water break or snacks. So I'm just gonna stop this one first, okay? We'll send the invites in a bit.